What?
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
No warning whatsoever. No, that is. See, we are all happy.
Yeah,
And it only mean one thing.
And we were all on our phones as well.
Yeah.
Achha, we were mute before.
We were mute before that.
But
see,
we are all happy. Healthy banter.
No, not healthy banter. We are all genuinely happy because look at this.
Of course. You're
beautiful
happy.
image. One of many from yesterday.
You just said you are happy.
Sorry?
I'm saying, did you just say you are happy?
Did I say that?
Yeah, I think
I'm completely zoned out.
You're zoned out. Everybody's still zoned out, by the way, because it's been less than 24 hours, by the way.
I think, personally speaking, I'm still in a state of numbness from last night. It's got to do with a lot of exhaustion as well because of work. But there's been a lot of exhaustion because of the football as well that we saw yesterday.
See,
how can you be exhausted with work? This is your passion.
Of course.
But look, see, follow Messi.
Might get fired for that.
Yeah.
Follow Messi. See, 15 years. He had to undergo hell for 7 years from 2014 till 2021.
So I'm into my 6th. I must wait for another 9.
Yes. Bhagavad Gita said 7.5 years of hell. After that, it's all heaven. It's begun for Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Because see, 2014, that finals loss. And that probably was the prime reason why I was rooting for Lionel Messi this time. You saw him just stare at that World Cup trophy at that time at the Maracana.
Numbly, like no expression.
He just stared. And also, the other thing that moved me in that was when the rest of the Argentine players were watching the Germans celebrate. He was just sideways looking, just gazing into the horizon somewhere. He was lost. 18, that heartbreak, unfortunately, where Argentina just somehow cobbled through a team and got knocked out in the round of 16.
That team was vibes.
Yeah.
That team was vibes.
Then
you had no idea what the hell was going on half the time.
2021, the ultimate breakup. His departure from Barcelona. That, I think, was a shock that we all got in a big way.
Remember that tissue?
Yeah.
Issue, yes.
Remember the selling price?
Yeah.
700 million euro. Man.
Tissue, a used tissue. I'll give him one for free.
That became a big
Are
issue.
you Lionel Messi?
No.
Yeah, that settles it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'll give it for free. Mine won't cost 700 million.
So all those tears that flowed at the Lusail Stadium after the 4th penalty was taken by Argentina summed up what it meant for them.
Wait, whose tears are we talking about? Because Di Maria cried a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
He was crying after the goal.
He was crying after the
cried
second
after
goal.
Of course.
Yes.
He was in tears after the second goal. And I'm like, okay. Then he's in tears when they were level, when they took the lead again.
When the match went into pens.
When the match went into pens, when the match
Every time.
finished. Half the tears in that stadium.
He was seeing a lot of telenovelas. I'm very much sure about that. He was seeing a lot of the Spanish telenovelas. That's why he's crying a lot. That's how he is. See, one guy from Rosario was doing all the wizardry up there. Another guy always in the shadows. He's also from Rosario, by the way, Angel Di Maria.
Yeah, correct.
But no, they didn't play together at club level.
No, only country, because club level, remember, Di Maria mostly played for Real Madrid.
Yes. So, when that 4th penalty was, we all wanted that moment, right? 15 years, that debate was there. Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo, Messi, Ronaldo. Now, after this World Cup, the debate right now is finally the GOAT debate settled? Is Lionel Messi equivalent to the G.O.A.T?
I'll start. He would have been the GOAT for me even if he had not won the World Cup. And that is perhaps the main reason why I don't think this debate is ever getting settled. I don't think it's getting settled. It really depends on, it's very a subjective thing.
See, I don't know. I don't know if it's my
we have two players
over there who says that now the debate has to stop as to who the GOAT is. But I have something contentious to say here. Of course, there's a lot that we need to talk about. But I, for one, feel that all those backing Messi all these years, especially people who followed the Premier League, one of the reasons that there's been a lot of following for Messi as compared to Ronaldo from people who primarily watch the Premier League is because the Premier League teams and the clubs that the people supported they've been punished several times by Cristiano Ronaldo. That's one of the reasons why there's that sentiment against Ronaldo from people watching the Premier League, because they've seen his exploits and their team, let's say, not pointing out Chelsea in particular or Shane in particular, but
Ashley Cole says hi.
Exactly. But having said that, Chelsea supporters bound to hate Ronaldo for everything that's happened. Be it 2008, be it what's happened in top and tail of those seasons, you know, there is that anti-Ronaldo and anti-Messi sentiment likewise. Again, open to discussion, open to debate, and that's where I think a lot of these factions have now developed, you know, as to what league you followed, what player you've supported, and which club in a personal capacity you supported all these years. That has determined your preference between Messi and Ronaldo.
What about you, Dalima? Now, your perspective will be very important because you are also a player who understands the travails, but you also are a fan first when it comes to either Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo.
But one thing, before just concluding remarks to that little monologue that I had, one thing's for sure, regardless of the fact that yes, Messi of course will have one more against Ronaldo now, the debate cannot be settled because it is ultimately a choice of what you prefer. These are very two fine cocktails that you have. It's just a matter of preference, which one you want to have.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to go off of that the debate of greatest of all time can never be settled. It's a field of sport. You're always going to witness. And I think we've been all talking about Messi. We've all been talking about Ronaldo. But I think what Mbappe has been able to achieve at the age of 23, is that another GOAT in the making,
Also had Mbappe, let's say, just for discussions, like hypothetically, had he won a second World Cup yesterday, would
along
we have
with
instead
along with the Golden Boot.
Exactly. Is he the actual GOAT or not Messi Ronaldo? Would we have said
Because
that?
again, he would have been the first player since Pele to actually win them back-to-back. Of course, don't forget there were
And
others in
also
that
at that young
squad.
age.
Garrincha, the age factor is where the
17 and
Pele
21
comparison.
it was for Pele.
1923.
1923.
But again, see, I already had a backup plan for that. Okay.
For this whole thing?
Yes.
Setup?
Yes. Because had Mbappe won you that game against Argentina, then was the Lionel Messi Cristiano Ronaldo debate of who's the greatest? Was it really worth it? Because Mbappe
Of course, no. Mbappe
absolutely.
would not be the GOAT. Simple as, I'm sorry, but one of the reasons why people consider someone like a Leo Messi or a Ronaldo, the level at which they are compared to someone like a Maradona
Longevity.
or not just longevity or Maradona or a Pele, but it's the level at which they played at.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect to Pele, love the man, but he scored a lot of goals in a farmers league. Okay, let me make this thing clear. This is not me being hyperbole. Back in the days when Pele was a football player, professional football player playing club football, Brazil didn't have a national league.
Yeah.
The club he played for, Santos, used to play in the Sao Paulo, or what was called the Sao Paulo Championship or the Paulista. That is the equivalent of the Calcutta Football League, if I have to give an Indian terminology. He won all his leagues there. He scored all his goals there. And to be fair, if you go through that 1283 goal record, it is dubious to say the least. Now, I'm not questioning his talent because there were a lot of goals over there that were scored for barracks teams.
Yes.
I mean, come on, barracks teams.
Yeah.
He'll score 2 in training and count 10 more in his tally is a joke that I've seen a lot on social media. Not saying I agree with it, but where his talent was undeniable was on the world stage. Again, 58, 17-year-old kid injured for half the tournament, playing in the World Cup, taking that by storm. 62, people don't realize this, he only played one game. Why was he so desperate for that glory in 70? Because in 58 he played half a tournament, in 58 he played one game. In 62. 70 he knew he had needed that to cement his legacy. Same with Messi and or Ronaldo is that, but the kind of domination they've shown at club level, incredible. Neither Maradona nor Pele had that.
Exactly. Mind you make comparisons about Haaland breaking records in the Premier League, left, right, and center. He's going to do what? The thing is, even at this rate, he's going to continue for another 15 years to be able to get to these numbers that Messi and Ronaldo stacked up. Imagine scoring 48, 49 goals a season. That's the average he'll have to keep up with for the next 15 years.
And I'm just going to add to what the both of you have said. And I think as with years, the game changes, and as the game develops, the terminology or the definition of what we consider the greatest of all time changes as well. So I think with Mbappe, he must be starting out, and yes, he's not there yet because he hasn't really won the Ballon d'Ors, and he doesn't have all of that to back him. He doesn't have probably as many Champions League trophies or exactly, and he has only the League One League One trophies. And again, when you compare that to the level of La Liga or Premier League, I think there's still a long way to go. And I think
well, if we are to go down that road by the way of him winning only, let's say, the La Liga, the League One, then this discussion, the whole Messi-Ronaldo discussion takes another twist. Because for the longest time, of course, minus yesterday's night, for the longest time, the biggest critics of Messi has said that he's only delivered the goods in Spain and not in any other league. And those supporting Ronaldo said he's not just done it in one, he's done it in 3 big leagues. So if it is about Mbappe, are we asking Mbappe here to take a transfer to Real Madrid? It's not happening.
I honestly said he should have done it.
He should have done it.
He's too good for Spain, France right now. Too good.
He'll be plundering goals over there, left, right, and centre.
Exactly.
Yesterday was a mere
glimpse of what exactly.
They saw that glimpse in 2018.
18 as well. 4 goals over there. 7, 8.
See, the greatness debate, I'll tell you, we are in this era, remember, not just if you have to look at it in football, tennis.
Yeah.
You had Djokovic, you had Nadal, you had Federer. 3 greats in just one era.
Here, all overlapping. Here in football,
you had, because see, you couldn't compare Pele with Maradona, different eras. But here, Messi and Ronaldo, same
Before that, you had a Ronaldinho. Don't forget, you had a Kaká who won a Ballon d'Or in the middle of that. The last person to win it before the Messi-Ronaldo hegemony. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've had these players. And Ronaldinho, by the way, predicted Messi's oncoming as his successor when he won 2005. He said the next Ballon d'Or winner is at Barcelona. People thought he was kidding.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
Yep. So, see, but now look, how long have we been thinking Messi versus Ronaldo? 15 years? Close to 15 to 16 years? Ronaldo almost came to international success in 2004. Euro. He lost in the final to
Greece.
Portugal lost to Greece. So, that was the starting point for Ronaldo. For Messi, it was probably 2007.
2 years later. 2 years later.
6, because in 6 he was playing the World Cup.
He was playing the World Cup.
Didn't score though.
No, he did. Got a couple of goals.
He scored a couple of goals.
Because of course that team was a little too star-studded up front, like the Argentina
There was
team.
one World Cup season in which
2010. That was the year Maradona ironically was the coach. Couldn't get the best out of Messi ever. That man.
Yep. So that is why. So when you have overlapping greats in a sport, even in cricket you got it. Unfortunately for the Fab Four, okay, there is a debate, but Kohli is there along with Smith, Williamson and all that. If you may say motorsport,
very few who've overlapped really, because again, if you look at pure numbers, the 2 men who in motorsport have defined it, Rossi was pretty much unchallenged in MotoGP.
Yeah.
In F1, you had Schumacher who dominated the early 2000s, Hamilton who came thereafter.
Maybe a slight overlap was Schumacher-Prost in that 90s.
No, Prost was barely a challenge. Senna, but tragically he died. The overlap here would actually be between the 2 generations, Fernando Alonso. 5-6.
Yes.
And Vettel. Again, another one who's a contender.
So in that sense, if you have to look at it, can we bend the rules slightly for assuming the greatness factor here? Because look, what do I define greatness in this modern era? Okay, obviously factor number 1, the number of trophies that you won, club and international. Criteria number 1.
Messi is taking that.
3-2.
Actually, no. If you add international and if you add personal titles, individual title, I think it's 22 versus 29.
Wait, I'm not talking individual, we're talking team, no?
No, are we talking about individual performances, individual awards that Messi and Ronaldo have gotten?
No.
Team for now.
Team for now.
Okay. Team for now.
See, because Ronaldo's just won the Euro.
No, he won the Nations League.
Nations League also. But Messi's won Copa, Finalisma and now the World Cup.
Even if you don't count the Finalisma, he's completed international football.
He has completed football. Okay.
He's entered the holy. He has the holy trinity now.
He's
only
in the
the 8th
Olympus
or the 9th player to
do that.
To won the holy trinity.
Now, second, this is where I think it is going to be a big grey area. The impact. Here, I think we will be.
Here, I think it's a matter of choice. Here is a matter of choice.
Did Ronaldo leave a greater impact because of his goal scoring abilities or because of the impact he's had in several clubs, like you had said, different countries? Or was Messi, who was so sublime, did he leave a greater impression? Because see, numbers favor Ronaldo for goals, individual.
even there, I'll point out a very obvious thing which makes it clear it doesn't really favor him. Simple fact, he may have scored more, but he's had a longer career. So if you look at the one number, which defines your goal scoring metric, it's goals per game ratio. Calculate both of their numbers. Messi's goals per game ratio is better, so that really settles that debate.
That's true. That's statistical. He's absolutely right. You look at club level, you look at Champions League, which is in many ways,
which is what, by the way, Ronaldo wanted to play in a Champions League club for that reason. He wanted to stay ahead of Messi. That eternal rivalry.
See, the thing with Ronaldo is he's made his ambitions very, very clear to the world. So, and he's turned his game around as well because numbers mattered to him. For him to leave, playing on the wing to just be a prolific goal scorer was a conscious choice that Ronaldo made. But let's say somebody like me who's watched Ronaldo closely during his Man United days, I've seen the transformation, and that for me is my respect towards Ronaldo because I've seen the game evolve for Ronaldo. He's changed his game around, and he's done it not just in the Premier League. He went ahead and did it. Look at the number of records that he smashed in those 2 seasons at Juve.
But again, that's where it also comes down to.
And if you want to pick and choose, if you want to pick and choose, yes, of course, over the last 3 weeks, Messi's now cemented himself for a big faction as the greatest of all time because of what happened yesterday. But if you want to just, put in a microscopic view at season by season, let's say, where was Lionel Messi just about a year and a half back? Look at his numbers at the end of last year's season.
Yeah, he was clearly lost at PSG.
Exactly. So then many fans supporting Ronaldo will say, okay, Ronaldo also switched. He came from Juve to Man United. He had 24 goals compared to Messi scoring about
12. Maybe. I don't remember.
But again, see, these debates can take so many twists and turns. But I was looking at the numbers before because I knew we would be needing some numbers here to back our claims. But again, those who, let's say, if I'm a footballer, let's say, if I like players who play a creative role, I am bound to be supporting Messi because Messi's creative ability, especially over the last 3 to 4 seasons, has been something else altogether. And Ronaldo's nowhere in the picture when it comes to creating goals.
His only assists are missed shots.
Perhaps.
Okay, so how will you convince?
Ronaldo fans are going to hate me right now.
Perhaps.
So now, how will you convince that even after Messi wins the World Cup, how are you going to convince the fans that, okay, Cristiano Ronaldo is still the greatest?
You can't convince anyone. People will believe what they want to believe. Prime example.
It is subjective. It is very, very subjective. And even before the final, I like what a certain GOAT in another discipline of the game said, and that's Virat Kohli saying that regardless of what happens, regardless of trophies, regardless of individual awards, you for me will be the greatest of all time.
And that's the key. That's for me. So for instance, I'll give you my own example. I've always liked Nadal, never been a fan of him. For me, the man who will forever be my greatest, Federer. If you're looking at tennis, because again, I just loved the kind of art he weaved on the court. I don't care if he's won 2 less Grand Slams.
Let's say exactly. Many will say that Nadal was a one-track pony.
Only won most of them in France.
14 on clay.
Correct. So see, and then in this present Messi-Ronaldo debate, many will say, okay, most of these goals, of course, yes, national goals, that tally is improved for Messi massively over the last 12 to 18 months. But the fact that, yes, he spent most of his time in La Liga, and there is another debate altogether whether La Liga is as competitive as the Premier League or not. Yes, the teams do well in the Champions League, no doubt about that. But still, the debate is on.
Now look, another greatness quotient, if I have to look at it. Many players in this Argentina team have grown up idolizing Lionel Messi, right?
Yeah.
Julian Alvarez is a classic case.
Everyone.
Yeah.
But does Ronaldo have that same impact for Portugal?
He does. The problem is that there you already have players who are kind of big stars in their own rights. A Bruno, a Bernardo. Are they going to lay their game at the feet of Ronaldo?
No. See, these are also, you got to understand that these are players who are already playing at big leagues. They're already playing. Let's say Bruno Fernandes, for example, he is the captain of Manchester United right now.
Probably a future Portugal captain
too. Exactly. He, by the way, looked the most threatening or the most menacing of all Portugal players, and came close to scoring multiple times in the quarterfinal as well. But having said that, the whole way that Argentina played for Messi is something we must appreciate, and this is what the World Cup will be remembered for. Yes, the debate is one thing, but this as a World Cup for me will also be remembered for a team fighting for one man.
And doesn't that make him the prime reason?
See, I mean, you can pick out reasons to be told. I think you can pick out reasons for any argument, and
I think it's so subjective that at the end of the day, there can be so many elements that can come at play. So it's very hard to know what exactly could be considered. Like we validate a lot, and like, you know, we talk a lot about stats and everything, but at the end of the day, Messi did a lot more than just producing the numbers. And the way he brought the team together. Otherwise, I don't think in a team sport, having such a big roster, having such a big team and representing the nation, it's very rare that we see that players want to play for one player. That wasn't the case when it came to Portugal. Players never said that they were playing for Ronaldo. In Croatia as well, players, you know, maybe towards the end when it was the third place playoff game, they said that we want to give Luka Modric a good send-off. But again, it wasn't the same feeling that was shared in the Argentine team. So I think it's very debatable, and like for me, especially as a player, when I look at it, for me, the debate includes a lot as how players conduct themselves and how they're able to give back more to the game than they're able to produce the numbers. So I think it's so subjective that it's really hard to.
But it is based on this subjectivity that most of our footballing modern generation has grown up on, isn't it? It's always been Ronaldo versus Messi. There have been camps. Very few. Maybe there'll be a very few percentage. There are people who love Kylian Mbappe, but there'll be very few.
But one thing, and I think I would, if Ronaldo, for all those Ronaldo fans watching us right now, yes, of course, the debate will continue. But I think what you can't do as Ronaldo fans also is you cannot hate on Messi for even a second. You have to admit, because you have to decide whether you're a Ronaldo fan or a football fan first of all. Because if you're a football fan, and that you must be first, you have to give it that Messi deserved it through and through. There cannot be any debate about it.
Just like there was no debate over the fact when Ronaldo was dominating the Champions League. Like, this guy's made for that stage.
And one more thing, I may have made a case for Ronaldo all along, but I will want to add the one thing that has actually gone more in favor of Messi, and that's the kind of evolution that I've seen in him over the last couple of years. I would say, you know, it was always said that he didn't have nerves of steel. Look at the number of penalties he converted.
Exactly.
But on the other side, I would say every time Ronaldo's converted penalties and whatever his numbers look like, people have been the fastest to go on and call him Penaldo and whatnot. That sentiment isn't, no one's even talking about all of that right now, because out of the 7 goals,
5 were pens.
5 or 4.
I think 2 are from open play, right? No, 3. Right. 4.
So, yeah.
And he missed
But
one.
nobody's talking about that right now.
That's actually because he scored them. If he missed any of the key ones, people would be talking.
He did miss one.
Poland was not key. I'm saying key, I mean
exactly.
in the knockouts.
Like for
or the shootout.
But see, and that also has to do with the way the two players have carried themselves. See, as journalists, as people who follow the sport, you know, and we all have opinions of our own, I think a lot depends on the way we perceive a player. And Ronaldo has always been this flamboyant player. He's wanted to hog the limelight, you know, he's wanted the spotlight, and that's, I think, is something that's worked against him, which is why you have these terms like Penaldo and all come up every time he does it. But this time around, no discussion, nobody's even talking about it. Messi fans also know the fact that they've always said, okay, Ronaldo's always scored from the spot. Let's also not forget that in clutch moments, Messi has been the one to miss out on crucial penalties.
Two at least come to mind.
Yes, of course. So, but he showed nerves of steel, so credit to him.
Absolutely. Now we'll take some questions. I don't get it that people favor Ronaldo. YSJ boy is saying Ronaldo.
For the reason
that Ronaldo has hard work and Messi has talent, but talent is nothing without hard work. Messi has also done hard work.
Actually, that's very correct. I've never understood that side of the debate.
Yep. Samir Singh. Argentina's population yesterday increased by 1.3 billion, and the rest is
You've clearly never been to Kolkata, Samir Singh. There will still be plenty of Brazil fans both there and in Kerala. I can take it from me in writing.
Kerala and Kolkata are those two places where there is an equal population of Brazil and Argentina. Fanatics, not supporters, fanatics.
Saksham has a question for you.
For you, Dalima. Can you please share your experience at the Manitoba Bison's soccer team?
Yeah.
Oh, that experience.
The floor is all yours.
It was an incredible
Meanwhile, we can pass the
journey.
ball around like Messi Ronaldo maybe.
Yeah, so starting off, I think I started for Manitoba Bisons in 2019, and since then it was an incredible journey. I started off 2019 with the team, and then we were hit with COVID in the middle, and yes, just this year I played my last season for them. So I think, if I have to sum it up, it was an amazing experience altogether. I was in a different country, a part of a different team. I did not really know anybody, so for me it was crucial to put myself out of that comfort zone, and that's what I did. And in my team I shared the field with players from separate countries, different countries, and I played against players again who came together from different countries. So I think, having that kind of infrastructure where I could travel for away games, and then we had home games, and just like that entire infrastructure, how it was, organized, and how the entire tournament kind of played out. And we, in 2019 and this year as well, we had probably two of our best seasons in the history. So for me to be a part of that, it was amazing, and to be able to contribute to the team. So I don't know, it's hard to sum it up in like few words and sentences, because
so take your time, it's okay.
Yeah. As you said, the flow zone.
No, I would just say that it was amazing. It was amazing, and I feel like, all players kind of deserve to, experience that kind of energy, that kind of infrastructure, and what the kind of football club culture is like. So I don't I put myself out of the comfort zone. It was a big step for me in my career, and that did give me a lot of experience which I needed, and I've been able to develop a lot as a player and as a person. So for me, I would just say that it was amazing.
Wonderful. KD Rajput has a question which I'm taking a lot of offense to, because he says sports today people are Ronaldo lovers. My brother in heaven, I yesterday upstairs in office when Messi scored that third goal in extra time, no one got a video of it.
We almost thought Shane would pull his shirt off.
Thank God, no.
And rip it off, maybe.
Oh man, I missed this.
You didn't see this. I ran.
He ran down the aisle. He ran down the aisle.
People were legit telling me afterwards, like, so we saw your celebration also. I'm like, yaar, video bana rahe the. Viral ho jata.
Damn, I missed this. Okay, and Akash Bharadwaj had two questions actually.
First, greatest male athlete is good shout. Good shout.
Again, but there's another question that Akash had.
A name we have forgotten, Benzema. He can enter the
No, Benzema's the same age as Messi. Not a chance.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. And Benzema, unfortunately, not a team player. If you have to look at ego.
No, we saw it happen recently as well. He was apparently miffed at
Deschamps.
and Macron.
He's
miffed at Macron.
He's miffed against the French head of state. Brilliant.
Well, you can do that if you're the
Ritesh Kumar says, if the GOAT topic is subjective, then why are you guys wasting our time? Yeah, everything in sport, when it really comes down to it, is subjective.
Yeah.
So why are you subscribed?
Ritesh Kumar,
we are no authority to pass judgments. Firstly,
we're just having talks about him.
Yeah, and
as Girish Pawar rightly puts it, because it's subjective.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. See, the same passion will come up when you discuss Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer's G.O.A.T.
But speaking of that, like Krishnendu makes a good point. He says that if Messi doesn't even score a goal for the whole season, then also I will watch him just to watch him touch and pass the ball. Ronaldo doesn't give that. That's where the subjectivity comes in.
That also again, it's that Djokovic Federer thing. So again, if you're somebody who likes grace, it is Messi. If you're somebody who likes a goal machine, it is Ronaldo then for you, because that's the kind of the kind of vibe that the two players give. Again,
Anurag, did we ever put out a post saying Ronaldo is the greatest of all time?
Did we?
No.
Did we? Not a chance. I wouldn't have let it go up.
See, we
Flag
have
that
said
Messi
that
flag.
he is one of the GOATs. One of the GOATs.
Yeah.
He isn't the GOAT.
To my recollection, I haven't posted it. So
Certainly wasn't me. No way I'd ever posted. No.
Okay, if you're looking at me, I hardly
this is good. Akash says the right thing. He says, thanks for taking the question on Messi being the GOAT, but he has passed the debate on to Mbappe and Haaland.
I want to see Haaland playing in a World Cup, man. I want to see him demolishing those teams for fun.
But Norway
Haaland.
making
I don't know the German lyrics, but that song is very
But can he play for Germany? Is he eligible to play for Germany?
No, but Norway, I mean, to be fair, they have two players who can guide them to a World Cup. Him and of course Martin Odegaard. Love that guy.
Yeah. But just two players.
But it's just like that Chile.
Argentina won it with 3.
It's just like the Chile of the team of the 90s. Just two players.
To be fair, in a World Cup, especially, look,
Or
48 team
or maybe you
tournament.
can make a case of Morocco.
48 team tournament,
Only
you're
two,
telling me
three
Norway
super-
can't make it?
Just two actually.
Exactly,
Morocco.
2 superstars.
Yeah.
They had what, Ziyech and Hakimi?
Hakimi.
That's it.
But
Ashraf Hakimi.
Yes.
Yep. And Mbappe is the future. 2026 France will.
No, hard to disagree. I mean, Mbappe, and the irony, by the way, is that Mbappe is someone who sees himself more as a Ronaldo fan, yet his game or the way he impacts games is very Messi-like.
Yes.
He's not
I
just
still
scoring
think
goals.
we've not seen enough of Mbappe yet. It's
No,
just
we have to
what-
see him in a bigger league.
in a bigger league and of course over a longer period of time, I would say. It's just what, couple of seasons yet?
Yeah.
So more to come.
I think Parashar has an interesting one for you, Siddharth.
GOAT is only one. Others
Sid.
can be a legend.
No, GOAT is only one. Maybe he's talking about you being
You being the legend,
Ah.
yeah. You being the goat.
He's the GOAT.
You're the
Oh my
goat.
god, I'm the GOAT? No.
Arey.
Huh? Dalima can be the GOAT.
Ah.
Darling of sports.
Oh my god.
By the way, this is an in-joke we've had upstairs at all times.
Why
Now
don't
it's
you?
finally on
No, why
camera.
don't you call me Kudrat ka Nizam? yaar?
No, that was Argentina yesterday.
That was Argentina, yeah. Almost Pakistan on my back.
I mean, imagine what must Messi have been undergoing. 2 goals. Okay, 80 minutes are up. I can at least enjoy the World Cup in 10-15 minutes, but no, Mbappe in 97 seconds.
And that's the thing.
equalizes.
I think I don't know which match report it is I was reading. It was that Argentina were reading from one script, but France and Mbappe were hell-bent on ripping that script apart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well said.
Messi,
As I was saying yesterday, it was definitely a script written in heavens.
Yes.
By the hand of
By
God.
the hand of God.
So that's what one of the headlines was: Messi's feet, hand of God.
Oh, well done.
That was one of the headlines.
Good
And yes,
headline.
we associate hand of God as Diego Maradona's, the great Maradona's effort in 1986, which by the way, it almost lived up to. The script almost was 1986 like.
It was more tense, I would say.
Yeah.
Far more tense.
No, but I thought the last tense World Cup final that I had seen was 1994. Brazil, Italy. That was pretty tense.
No, 2006.
2006, exactly.
I thought the
2006.
build up to 2006, that final, the penalty until extra time, it was pretty dark. It was pretty
that's because
slow.
that's Italy.
Yeah. But it started gaining heat after that Zidane headbutt to Materazzi. After that only it gained heat. After that, it was very dark. And
YSJ boy has a very interesting question. Don't you think Messi always had an advantage over Ronaldo, as Argentina has always had a greater squad than Portugal? In a way, not wrong, but ironically, this Portugal squad, man for man, I don't think is weaker than the Argentina squad.
No.
I think I would say man to man, they're stronger.
Portugal, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
2018 one was better.
Even in 2018, Argentina squad was not great. The Portugal squad, yes.
yes.
But this time around looked like a title challenging squad.
Yeah, because they were playing like
But
a
one
team.
thing I think, between Argentina and Portugal, one thing that Argentina always had before the tournament over Portugal was cohesion.
Yep.
And that reflected in the stats as well. Just the one defeat that they faced in the last 42 odd games or something.
Correct.
Yep. Amidst Aditya Kavlekar, we end with his comment. Amidst all the controversy surrounding Qatar hosting World Cup, this has been a great
Great
World
I
Cup.
have to agree.
Absolutely.
The footballing action was amazing.
I mean, I think most goals ever scored in one edition, 172
I think
goals.
the Qatari authorities will get away with all the controversy that was surrounded around
Because
the World Cup
amazing
because
World
they've
Cup.
given us tremendous memories.
Yep. So, 1 month. It's flown by, isn't it?
Really? Only 1 month?
Yeah. November 20th it began. Qatar versus Ecuador. And it ends on 18th. 11:24 p.m. IST. We saw the GOAT sinking to his knees with tears. The rest of
Right.
the
Just now we said
He settled the debate.
Just now we
I've
said
settled the
nobody to
debate.
settle.
I have settled the debate because for me,
Which is why one of our family members rightly crowned you as the GOAT and not us.
What are we?
We don't
You're
have the
legends.
power. We don't have the power.
you're legends. Because
I'm
see,
happy being one.
See, because for me, he's won everything that needs to be
Sure.
won. Second, the impact that he's led. Because see, Julian Alvarez and all the other guys, Enzo Fernandez, all idolized Messi and they will carry his legacy forward.
Oh, yeah.
In the Portugal case, I don't see that the youngsters feeding from Ronaldo's success in that way.
To be fair, Ronaldo always has a mixed impact on youngsters. I think that's been true even at United.
Mixed.
Yes.
Because some will kind of really gravitate to him. Some just are like, this guy doesn't.
I think Garnacho is now in a fix now.
Poor guy. Argentine guy playing for Man
Man
United.
United, and he spent time with Ronaldo.
Right.
But
So that is why, for me, Messi is the G.O.A.T of this era.
Yeah, for me too.
In that era, in the 50s and 60s, it was Pele.
But then how is it G.O.A.T if you were putting in eras then?
Exactly.
Greatest is greatest.
Greatest of all time for me is Messi. Simple.
No, but then
all time.
The problem is, see, I have taken the cricket analogy. The cricket analogy is that Bradman and Tendulkar can't be compared because they're different eras. Different setup. So Bradman is the greatest.
Shall I tell you why
era.
people came up with that? To avoid answering whether Sachin is better.
Yeah.
No, but then see, Tendulkar had more nations.
Then talk about World Cup comparisons. How many World Cups then did
Does Bradman have? Oh man, that's going to annoy a lot of people.
Then, but Bradman didn't play World Cups.
Exactly.
In his era, the Brits colonized half the world. Where would we play World Cups? There would be no World Cups.
There'd be the Commonwealth Games.
There would be the Commonwealth Games. And South Africa got banned. That is where the World Cup came into being. So, okay, for basketball, for me, it's LeBron James.
Oh.
One word answer.
We're taking this somewhere else now. Chalo, with that, now time to say
Thank
goodbye.
you so
to all.
much. And
we continue to be with you, but you might as well want to say goodbye to Dalama as well. Dalama, closing
Goodbye for
comments
now.
from you.
I mean,
all I can say is I had fun, and I think I shot shows with the three of you individually, and to finish with, we do a show together, all the four of us on camera. It's been amazing. These 10
It's a
days
fairy tale
before.
ending for us also.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because before I was like, oh, these 10 days are going to be hard, and they're going to be, very long and tiring. But I think I've enjoyed the journey as well, and it's come to a fun ending for the four of us as well. So yeah, it's been fun, and it has been good to get the comments from everybody watching, and again, thank you for following our journey and comments and appreciating it as well.
Indeed. And
Beautifully summed up by Dalama.
yes, absolutely. And it's been a great World Cup for all of us.
For
as
all
well.
of us.
now let's look forward to a few days of peace before next year begins.
Absolutely. Next year is also going to be action-packed.
What
year is
action
it?
pack? We've got an action packed day ahead on Friday.
Exactly. IPL auction, maybe.
IPL auction, and you'll have India versus Bangladesh, and then we'll be having
That's no. You're speaking of action-packed and saying India, Bangladesh.
See, it is action. What are
He's
you?
the GOAT, yaar. He can say anything.
Okay, so subscribe to
then.
Sports Today for all the latest news
Curtains
and
on the World
updates.
Cup, curtains on our coverage of the World Cup. Thank
For
you so
now.
much. That was Sidvi, Shane, Dalama, and myself, Harshit. Thank you so much for tuning in. Anurag, our producer as well, he too has been working extremely hard. Shivam,
Hardly working he is.
hardly work. Or I
indeed.
didn't say that.
Yeah.
Not saying that.
But
Yep.
anyhow,
Okay.
thank you so much for tuning in. Lovely talking to you guys
Vanakkam.
as always. Bye-bye.
Bye.